Oh, my bad, this just went down, my bad. So hold up, that's what we were at actually. So what flops are not checking? Yeah, so basically the boards that don't check are you know, low connected. uh, However, that don't hit the ace too hard, right? So if I actually had more flops, you would see that they're the ones that don't hit the, so 643 range was more of a less of a check, and you know, you can bet uh, small at like 47% frequency, so like half the times you're still checking quite a bit. um, yeah, like just wanted to know that if there's not much leading, and there isn't, because as soon as you get through these like little like boards like 643, 64 deuce, 966, you can see that like 774, that the 7-3 deuce, even 733. uh, Although this is pretty interesting board, by the way, and there's a reason why there's a higher frequency of medium sized betting, um, and I'll get to that. But default is just, you just, our strategy is not to, like, thing is the EV of leading and checking is pretty close. Therefore, uh, you need to have some leads. As counterintuitive as that sounds, the fact that the EV is the same for leading or checking, you need to have some leads. So we know it's just going to be like low connected boards that don't hit the ace X part of his range. To like 2-3-4 probably will not be. You know, like even here, like 2-3, just the fact that there's 2-3 in there just jumps, the checking jumps by like 8%, 9% actually, and then it just goes up. Now these boards, uh, just from range, for the fact that cutoff has somewhat of a stronger range, and so if we check in position, um, let's just see like what sort of boards, like I just want to see large bets, right? So I just want to see what sort of boards are betting large. I guess we could have used the other one, but then it might have like just so you can see that like ace 10 deuce makes sense, right? Although you can see that checking, yeah, this board is not checking at all. 4-3 deuce, and then you have just, you know, your normal smaller c bets, but they're not small because I used, I think, 30. Yeah, 30% is not a small bet, so that's pretty big bet actually. So 60% are basically, yeah, in terms of frequency you don't usually use them, so these ones, with 30%, again 30% is not a small bet, by the way, and it's 20 big blinds, right? So if this was 40 big blinds, a lot of this would be shifting towards pot. Trust me, a lot of it would be. And now if root checks and we bet 30%, again I checked this was about, we just checked it, like it was 47, right? So again, like, yeah, majority times, even versus 30%, it's just, there are some you know, there is some two betting, and we'll see. Well, actually, like on turn, it'll be better to like check on. So just default, I would say again, like doesn't matter what board it was, like Like we saw that these numbers were matching up even with 210 flops. You're just checking, right? Like I'm sure at like even more boards it's probably gonna be like more checks. Um, not betting small. Like we're donking small, but like that's about it. There's nothing more than that. Like there's no like 60%, 90%, sorry. And also this is the reason why this is small, and that big file I didn't actually like go through with it, is because the sizings here have been optimized. In the sense, I found what the sizings bio was wanting, and like what it was preferring, and I just use them. Otherwise there's a bunch of flops that were done. We can look at wait, which one is this? Hey, this is so on this particular board, like yeah, there's just no leading, right? Hold up, I want to use this one actually. So this is a board that was in there, but I switched up the sizings to include more sizing. And when you run aggregation reports, it just takes too long. So what you can do is do one sim, then optimize the sizing, and so it's faster. However, this is more comprehensive, so we're just gonna look at this. Okay. On ace 9-6, this is cutoff versus big blind, but why cutoff versus big blind? Why not button versus big blind? Why not? What's going on here? So here's the thing, we're not using actually GTO ranges here. If you actually go back here, like this is not particularly a GTO range, because at 20 big blinds it's gonna, even at like cutoff, or first of all, cutoff and button, they're not that dissimilar at 20 big blinds. They're not that different. However, button does have more mixed, like limp, more limps, and like there's a decent mixture of limping and raising. Even this one had a lot of like stuff around here, like not at full weight. Like even these I think should be at full weight, but sure. I mean, like yeah, we can make I mean, like this is just like it shouldn't be that much in our strategy, and like these two are just like meh, just end up. But here, like say for example, Jack 10 suited and all that stuff, they were not pure opens. Even like if you think about it, like these 7s, 6s, 5s, they were not like purely opening, and then 4s, I think it's just maybe a limp. 3s, deuces, I think is always a limp. So like in terms of raise first in, like this is what I use. This is pretty fine. Like there's some changes again I've made given how population would play, but you can see that there's just not many at all. Like this is like 100% call. So this is big blind call versus cutoff open. You can see there are some, like these are not folds, by the way. Like these are like 3 bets. So you're not only 3 betting this, you're 3 betting all the pairs, some of this, some random stuff here, and some ace x. That makes sense. This ace x though is like more what population would do. Think at 20 big blinds, not the population is like not capable of 3 bet folding or 3 bet calling of super wide, or they would be comfortable with like something like Jack 7 offsuit. Though I mean we're saying like 70% times they're just gonna call. Though this is much, like it's a big difference between Jack 6 and Jack 7 in terms of raising. Like, Jack 7 has a lot more like 3 betting. This is one of the ways you win from big blind. Now given that, actually what I'm going to start with is the so the reason is that there's a lot of mixing with limps and raises from button. So those are hard sims to run. Trust me, they are. And since population at 20 big line is not limping much from button at all, and they're way too tight from the button anyways, so I think this is somewhat similar to button versus big line as well as cutoff versus big line. I think population is too tight from button at these stack depths, so cutoff would be fine position to use. So here we see that obviously on the ace 9-6 it's going to be like 100% checks, right, from out of position. So like basically even if he was trapping with aces, which is in his range, like it's going to check because there wouldn't be any point in like trapping with aces and just leading out on this board. Actually there's just no leads at all here. And you can see that actually cutoff even at 20 big blinds, at 40 big blinds is on this board will definitely be betting close to pot, but you can see it's still pretty big bet. Like the only combo that I can see that isn't betting big is aces, and obviously nines probably. Yeah. Let's see. Like so, this is a small bet, right? Yeah, nines, aces, right? Sixes actually doesn't need to bet big at all because it unblocks both 9 and the ace. So you can see that like it can bet bigger. Sorry, that's what I meant. It can bet bigger because you know there's more possibility that some like we still get calls. So you can see that the only small bets are coming from aces and nines. Seems really rather like short some like two pair. I mean, but still not really, because again when we have two pair, kind of like not much he can call with on a rainbow board, right? So aces and nines, like I said, and then bigger bets is everything else, right? So except for aces and nines, poker is pretty consistent. If you have bigger bets with two combos and not so much with others, will be, and there's betting going on primarily. I mean there's 0.74% checks, 2.2 combos checked, so you can see that the others will be betting big, right? Anyways, that was easy. So let's go, and like yeah, like here I think 32 is fine. Yeah, this looks pretty clean. So again, out of position will be calling. There's not too much two betting going on. You can see though like where people will mess up. Like people will like think about it. 10-7 suited is the call, except for hearts. Now hearts, the reason why is because you still have some backdoor flush draw equity, so you have to make sure that you don't like a 10-8 for example is a gutty, like never fold, right? Though like this one's like calling completely even with the hearts. All the hearts are starting to fold because again it's just a gutty. Obviously any pair people don't fold, so like all the 9x 6x, but you have to realize that some of the 6x like pairs are not as good as or not as, they're not calling as much as something like 10-7 suited, but 10-7 offsuit it's just a dump. 10-8 offsuit, yeah, I mean all combos are kind of calling the same way the sixes are calling. Wait, 6, yeah, the 7 we need, right? Actually, yeah, my bad. So what else is there that people do you think we know that will generally fold here? Like like 8-5 here. No, probably not. But thing is, calling with a heart is just too much, overdoing it at 20 big blinds. And a lot of people, if they had tried to trap with like these kind of hands at 20 big blinds, which is like you don't want to be jamming these hands at all. It's just way too they're too good hands to like be calling, to be like just jamming. King Jack, King Queen. Offsuit is fine. King Queen suited, no. How about? However, if you actually look at it, like King 6 offsuit, for example, is not something that you want to even like call one bet with. Queen 6, Jack 6, nah. And can anyone? Well, there's nobody actually. This is not live or anything, but what would be the reason? Think about it. It's pretty simple. Why the bottom pair would not float here, especially King, Queen, and Jack. Sure, even 10-6 as well, but 9-6, 8-6, 7-6 are like 6-7, for example, is not really like it needs runner straight, right? So what's the reason? It's very logical why King 6, Queen 6, Jack 6 and just want to fold. King 9, Queen 9, Jack 9 don't. Okay, well, that's where the expertise comes into play. I can guarantee you though, people are going to be as inelastic with calling with King 6, Queen 6, Jack 6, open-enders, gutties, as they would be with like 9x across the board, right? And I mean all ace-x for sure. Some of them they will like try to fast play or like two bet. There's not much two betting. I mean, like, what the fuck is this two betting? Only coming from the hearts, because again it doesn't have any backdoor equity. Does you block the ace, makes the other person have some backdoor, straight, and like a backdoor. Since we unblock the club, this diamond, then these spades, makes sense. But again, it's not the dominant. It's only one combo that's actually doing it, and like 40% times just going all in. Effective stacks are 180, starting stacks 54. So yeah, ace 10 just slams it in versus a 32. So that's why we want to bet pot, close to pot or big from cutoff, because when you have people who have like inelastic ranges, bet big, because they're gonna be acting the same way with their open-ended straight draws, their pairs. Like they're not gonna care about whether it's a 6 and with a king, or whether it's a 6 with a 7. The thing is, this is King 6 it's not gonna make you money over the two streets, right? And when you face like a decent sized bet, just give the person respect just from the fact that like they have a range advantage, right? Other hands that people are probably gonna call with too often are, again, like, I think King Queen definitely qualifies. Now these are all 3 bets pre, right? Obviously, some of these hands are also 3 bet at certain frequency. That's why they're not there. Although versus cutoff, they're just not there for some reason. Actually, if you look at yeah, it's just all of these are still there, right? This is just gone. So although again this is not exactly a GTO range, but I mean, like, when you change things, it's not going to change much. I'm just trying to see like what would be people calling with. I don't think 8-5 offsuit knows the difference between the suited and the offsuit version. So like, this is like your fold to c bet in big blind should be the highest, especially when you have a blocker from which the villain will draw his bluffing range. And what's that? 7-8 suited, right? People at 20 big blind sometimes have them. So all of the like 8-5 kind of blocks that. It blocks 5-6. So doesn't block, like, there's not that much ace-8 as there might be, like, oh yeah, there's about the same amount, right? But people are not opening ace-8 as much as they might like fancy opening 5-6. And again, some of this stuff has to be limped. So that's definitely not happening. So anyways, let's say he calls. Let's say check big line check call.